I have to stop going back to you. Back to you. Back to you. Back to you.
I have to stop going back to you. Back to you. Back to you. Back to you.
To you, to you, to you, back to you. I have to stop going back to you, to you, to you, back to you. I have to stop going back to you, to you, to you, back to you. I have to stop going back to you, to you, to you, back to you. I have to stop going
Back to you. Back to you. Back to you.
back to you. Back to you. Back to you. Back to you.
I have to stop going back.
Well, it might be the start of November. However, here at XP Esports, we're only in the middle of our 4th season of the year. It is time for more High School Rocket League. My name, again, is one Maximilian Thor von Neumann, a.k.a. Formal Casting, Max Formal, I don't know. I go by many different names. Today, though, I'll just be that narrating voice as we walk you through 2 more best of 5 series today from our wonderful high school competition. 3 conferences, only going to be covering Conference A and B as we get ready to head into it. First, though, we'll take a look at some of the teams competing in this event as a whole. Conference A, typically it is considered that premier conference right now. They consist of Forest Lake Lions Green, Lakers Legends, the 2 teams we're going to be watching play each other right now, STMC Black, Chisholm Maroon, who are playing against each other as we speak, and TC Red taking on Marsden Makos. And I apologize, STMC Black is actually playing the Marsden Makos. Chisholm Maroon is playing TC Red. The M starts for a lot of these teams, MMM. I got that confused. My apologies. Either way, we had that fixed. It's going to be Lake versus Lake. Forest Lake Lions Green, Lakers Legends. We'll talk more about them in a bit. Meanwhile, Conference B, that, of course, will consist of Marsden Makos Black, Chisholm Green, ATC Irish Warriors 7 and 8. The TSS Cyber Sharks and STMC Gold. Will be covering a match from this conference later in the afternoon. And Conference C, our newer conference with newer teams, has St. Peter's, SPLC2, TC Blue, the Manta Rays White and Maroon, as well as St. Peter's or SPLC1. They are the teams currently competing. As we take a look at where these teams are sitting, we'll have a quick run through our standings as well. Chisholm Maroon currently atop Conference A. Pretty much the king of the castle at this stage. 4-0, 11 score differential. That means they've only dropped 1 game, so that's a 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and a 3-1 to get to where they are. Marsden Makos, though, right on their tail. Top 4 is where you want to be. That equates to playoffs. So for TC Red and the Lakers Legends, still some work to do. In Conference B, meanwhile, you can see it's been all Irish Warriors. They're currently sitting in 1st and 2nd place, with the Makos and the Cyber Sharks holding down that middle of the pack. Chisholm Green and STMC Gold, though, have opportunities to climb back into this conference. Hopefully for them, they'll be able to get into that top 4. And then last but not least, of course, in Conference C, TC Blue, Manta Rays White, St. Peter's, and Manta Rays Maroon are all in the playoff spots, with St. Peter's still vying to get in. For today, though, I already hinted at 1 game, but we might as well show them both off. Forest Lake Lions Green will be taking on Lakers Legends in our Conference A matchup. And following that, it will be Chisholm Green taking on the Marsden Makos Black in a battle to try and secure themselves into that top 4. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be, I think, an exciting day nonetheless. Now, we will be getting into our first game very, very shortly. In fact, I think we can take a closer look at these 2 teams before we set them on their way. Forest Lake Lions Green versus Lakers Legends. Lakers Legends have that history of success within this XP League. However, so far throughout the season, they've been struggling a bit. It's a new lineup, one that's not quite as experienced as what they've run in the past. Meanwhile, Forest Lake Lions Green, they've been sort of cruising by in the middle of the road. They've got a couple wins, a couple losses, definitely looking like that mid-pack team. They could be what winds up being the gatekeepers of that top 4. So for the Lakers Legends coming into this game, very, very important that they find a victory here today. Now, before we do get onto the pitch, one last thing I would like to address, and that is our lovely sponsors for this event. In particular, I would like to hold out a big, big thank you to EPOS. As per usual, they are providing 6 sweet gaming headsets for both 1st and 2nd place. Now, that's not 6 each. It's essentially 3 for each team. Depending on where you place is what headset you get. They are really, really sick, and we are really, really grateful for EPOS for providing the prize pool once again for this lovely event, as well, of course, as the chair behind me. Of course, that is some ZQ Racing and the Computer Alliance for helping provide all the technology for this event at hand. Now, without further ado, though, I do think it is time we say, hey, let's get this match underway. You don't need to say it like that, but you should be saying, all right, it's time to go. It's time to get out there and have ourselves some Rocket League. It's a best of 5, although I do have some slightly dour news. It is going to be a 2v3, I believe, for our opening matchup. So it's going to be a bit different, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Lakers Legends are the team that could be a little bit down in this one. So not only are they kind of in a must-win situation, but a member down as well in a 2v3, it becomes that much more difficult. Either way, we are going to send it to the pitch as we speak. Forest Lake Green are in blue. Lakers Legends are in orange, quickly going through the lineups themselves. Dishonored, as well as It's Alexa and Lush on that Forest Lake side. Meanwhile, for the Lakers Legends, we have McTrentpool and Sir Shaggy, and well, that's it. Again, only 2 of them competing out here today in the 2v3. Always a difficult challenge, especially with Dishonored looking at that shot. Also, thank you for the kind words, both Dishonored and Alexa. Absolutely do appreciate that. And for anyone else who's tuning in, feel free to have a chat. I'm having a read with you guys. I can have a giggle with you guys as well. We can make this a very communal event as we take a look at It's Alexa looking for those shots, not able to find that first goal. Dishonored now. Keep that attacking pressure moving forward. So difficult for the side of 2 to break this offensive rotation if Forest Lakes are going to be able to keep themselves disciplined, and double commits like that are what could lead to open nets. Backboard setup from Dishonored behind. It looked like Lush was able to get there first. However, the double commit out of Forest Lake actually, well, prevents them from finding a quick goal. So, as we sit at the moment, brief moments of offense for the Lakers Legends. Very brief. Not able to really turn that into a realistic shot just yet, as we are just over our first minute. And it's good to see some semblance of defense actually coming from the Lakers Legends. They're not making it easy for Forest Lakes to find those goals, getting counterattacks. That's going to be a little bit different, but we will see where it goes. And yeah, I actually really do appreciate those kinds of words, Dishonored. It's good to know that people are watching the RLCS when it is on. Great performance, once again, by the Renegades. So shout out to them. Really well done. We do see a bit of a setup through the corner right now. Ball will be held in place momentarily. McTrentpool tries to follow through underneath. Ball continuing to bounce around in the middle of no man's land. Eventually, it will start being pushed towards the net. Lush with a chance. And that's going to be the first goal of the series. That aerial was lined up and delivered as Lush. No challenge for that. McTrentpool was forced to make a very difficult backboard read. They had the right idea. Just didn't look like they had the commitment to realistically go for that save. And I can't be too harsh on them. It was a tough read. Now, for the Lakers Legends, needing a goal to equalize, 2 to take the lead. Our first match. Probably they'll have an opportunity or 2, but what they cannot afford to do, let this one really sail out of hand. Keeping it within 1 is still striking distance, and it will just take 1 lapse from Forest Lakes for the Lakers Legends to bring this one back as Dishonored looks to play through the corner, tries to find that second touch, swing and a miss. Now ball in the middle of the field. Lush go back and look to play that sidewall, pops one up for the middle of the field. Here comes the strike out of Dishonored. It's a backboard setup. McTrentpool took the bait, and It's Alexa will be the one who bangs it through. A nice 1-2 punch, and we got ourselves a Forest Lakes 2-0 lead. As we watch that one again, really well done by the attacking side. So up 2-0 in this game. And now is where Lakers Legends are going to be in a little bit of trouble, I feel. They're going to need to try to slow this pace down, I think, and cause some defensive mistakes like that. That's sort of that good start they're hoping to see, as McTrentpool will be able to pop one up off that backboard, read by Lush. That's going to be cleared to the corner, where it is a bit more safe for the moment. That's an awkward play. McTrentpool had a chance, was eyeing up the shot, however, unable to find the dunk this time around. Just under 2 minutes remaining. You do see it pass back into the middle. Dishonored looking for the read, doesn't quite get it, so instead we watch that ball sail back into the middle of the pitch where Lush was waiting. 3-0 lead now for Forest Lake. I think it's time we maybe get a little bit comfy, maybe we get a little bit more relaxed. Forest Lake, they're starting to figure out how to keep that ball a little bit further away from the backboard, and that's where they're finding a lot of their successes right now. When striking, again, particularly in the 3v2, it will often force a defender to play a bit more aggressively, which is easier to take advantage of when you're able to attack and just bring that ball more towards that middle of the pitch. And eventually that will lead to opening. Speaking of which, another opening does present itself, and Lush already there to bang it through. So a 4-0 lead for Forest Lake Green. Good bump from It's Alexa as well, actually. Able to stay underneath, finds that touch. I appreciate that. I do appreciate when teams, even in 2v3s, even when they're the favorites, don't really ease up, and they go ahead and they just give it their all regardless of the circumstance. It's going to force Lakers Legends to try to respond in kind. That bump may have just saved a goal coming out of the Force Lake defense. And Lakers Legends on that back foot right now. Going to have to try to survive another late attack. Lush! A little bit of a reset right there. A little bit of the mechanical prowess coming through as we see this again. They reset that boost off the ceiling and turn it. All right. I believe that one's called the Doomsy. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. I always get Musties and Doomsies confused, but I did see the rotation there, and that tells me it's probably a Doomsy. I would love some clarification on that one if you guys know better than I, but I believe that was the Doomsy flick, and that was very, very slick, if it was. So, 5-0 lead. I wish I could be more excited about that. I wish I could be popping off, jumping, up and down, but in the 3v2, when it's the favorites pulling it off, and after some of the shots we saw yesterday, we'll get there. We're warming up to it. It's Alexa. They could have made it 6-0. They had that shot right there, unable to put it through. You do see what Lush is able to do into that middle of the field. Ball held up for grabs, where it's Alexa will be able to try to create some more tactic space. Thrown back down to Dishonored, who keep that ball held up in the corner. Eventually, Dishonored will go for a flick up. Lush has a look. 1 tap, 2 tap, blue tap to orange tap. That would have made more of a, would have sounded nicer had the ball been going the other way. As it stands, that's going to be game 1, done and dusted. Forest Lakes, they're going to be happy with that opening win. A dominant performance in the 3v2. It's kind of what you expected right there. However, maybe what we weren't expecting was that big Doomsy flick. I'm just committing to it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the Doomsy out of Lush. 4 goals actually scored by this player. Forest Lakes off to a fantastic start in this series as we get ready to go to our second game. Expectations quite high on Forest Lakes in this series. And this is a good win for them, too. Like, I don't want to take away how important this win actually can be for Forest Lake as a whole as well, considering it is those top 4 teams that do advance. You have to capitalize on the opportunities given to you. They didn't necessarily choose for this one to be a 2v3. However, it's what's been presented, and they are looking to just make the most of the situation, get that 3-0, improve those tie breaks, put yourself in the best position for strong seeding when we do get into what is going to be a very exciting playoffs. I would have to imagine, and take a look at some backboard pressure right now, the side of 2 from Lakers Legends. You get some space. Ball does make its way back to the blue side of the field, but only temporarily. You can see Forest Lakes had already hit back. You're saying that was not a straight musty, Dishonored. I can't say that was a straight musty because there was the rotation there. The musty is always when it's just like parallel with the ball. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I always get those two confused, but I'm 99% sure that that was not a standard musty. It wasn't even close. Like, I'm saying it's better than a musty, for the record, all right? I'm not saying that it's not a musty or that you can't musty. I'm just saying that one was better than a musty, so I'm doing quick research on the side right now. This is very important, knowing exactly what type of goals are being scored right here. As we do see at the moment, Lush out of that corner, going to go for the dribble play. Gets it close to the net, but 2 defenders do hold him back as Dishonored will go to the opposite corner. There we go, ball bouncing around center of the pitch. Dishonored has one look again. Good read from McTranquil. Actually got that banger of a clear back. And with a bit of a swing and a miss from the defense, this could be the opening. It's already shut down. Nice pass forward to Dishonored. The ball is kept straight, and it will slowly roll in. Ed Alexa gets credit for that goal. We're looking at a 1-0 lead. Very nice goal scored by Forest Lakes on that counterattack. They're going to be happy bringing this one back within striking distance. Good say. I think they would like that second one a little bit more. Just sort of a start to make it that 1-0 lead, but if you can find it at 2-0 lead, it becomes even better. We see some mid-pitch battles. I do like the more aggressive positioning coming from the Lakers Legends, actually. They're willing to try to contest a bit more in that middle of the field, not give as much space over to Forest Lake, which To be fair, in game number 1, it did feel as if Lakers Legends were kept on that back foot for pretty much a majority of that entirety of the game. A majority of the entirety. Yep, that's what I said, and I'm going to stick with it. I could have just said majority of the game, but then you get to say words like entirety, and it sounds so much cooler. Either way, Lush does get that ball into the box. Follow-up from It's Alexa will result in a pass back over to Dishonored. Not quite able to pinch it just inside the post. Just Shaggy going to try to play a little bit of the dribble game. The pace slowed down before starting to rapidly accelerate. Although they're unable to get the goal this time around, Cool will bounce it more towards the middle of the pitch. Swing and a miss from Alexa, but not for Lush, who is going to go for the dribble play, keeping that possession, escorting it all the way through. Lush, such a good player. Look at that. Pure control all the way till the shot at the end. Cool unable to make that goal line read, so we're now looking at a 2-0 advantage, which again, I have to point out, is probably out of reach at this stage for the Lakers Legends. Unfortunately, in this 2v3, they need to keep it within 1 at minimum. As soon as it becomes a 2-goal cushion, it becomes so difficult for them to bounce back. And when you look at the playoff implications, it's a bit unfortunate for the Lakers Legends that they couldn't field their full roster today, because they desperately needed that victory in this series. Granted, not out yet, not even out of this game yet. However, until we see Lakers Legends find a way to get a shot on target, let alone a goal, I think that's when we can start talking about the realistic chances. If they're only attacking half now, this could be it. Cool unable to make that read. So it will be It's Alexa instead, going for that dribble play. Nice backboard defense from Cool, who drives it back up the field. Has a chance with the backboard read, but couldn't quite find that straight shot. Missed opportunity for the Lakers Legends right there. Cool had the right idea. Fortunately, the shot angle just a bit too tricky this time around. As Lush has already gotten 1 dribble through, do they get another? That time the ball got a bit too far out in front of Lush as well. So we continue to play this back and forth. Dishonored, woohoo! Had that ball been a little bit further back, that's probably a goal. Instead, Lakers Legends, they have an opportunity here. Ball in front of the net. Someone's got to tap it through, but no one there for the Lakers Legends. And Forest Lake do find that clear. Very unfortunate for Lakers Legends. That's probably going to be their best chance for a goal in this game. As now Lush is looking for double touches. Doesn't find it, but does find Dishonored, who doesn't quite put it straight. More attacking pressure, more near misses, and eventually Lush does disrupt enough of that defense. Got that cross-up, who I believe was on Cool, was on the back line. As Sir Shaggy went for the aggressive challenge, neither of them went out in this situation, and we have ourselves a 3-0 lead with 14 seconds to go. It's going to be a 2-0 advantage going in favor of Forest Lake. All they need to do, sort of let this one wind its way down. Lush, do they have another bag up of tricks in their sleeve? Worst magician in the world, it doesn't matter. Forest Lakes, they're going to go ahead and take game number 2. They do so in about as comfortable fashion as game number 1, to be brutally honest in that regard. So this team right now, they are looking strong. They're looking in control, and you would expect that being the higher seeded team. You'd expect that being the team that's currently up, in both the game series and in players, which is the most unfortunate aspect of this series. So maybe, just maybe, they're probably going to 3-0. I don't want to write Lakers Legends off. It's never fun to just completely write a team off, regardless of the circumstances that they face. However, I need to see a shot. I need to see a goal from them, and we haven't had either yet. Unfortunately, the attacking side of Forest Lake has just been a bit too disciplined for Lakers Legends to handle, although this is that chance. Cool kept it high. Oh, that could have been it. That was the moment. However, they weren't able to keep it underneath that crossbar, and now we're looking the other way. Oh, Lush. A rare miss out of Lush, actually. That net was open. Unable to keep it straight, though, means should be seeing a more precise defensive effort for the time being. Lush will be the one with control in the middle of the pitch. One defender misses. Only one remains standing. Cool is going to have to come up big. Not able to stop that. Lush, yet again, with the dribble play. As you can see, just complete ball control. They knew exactly what they wanted to do the moment they saw the situation. Big Trent Cool couldn't afford to step forward and challenge. Had they gone for the challenge there, it would have been so easy for Lush to just bang the ball into the backboard or into the corner and set up the next member forward. So it forced Big Trent Cool to play that defensive game to kind of try to wait for the ball to come to them. And Lush is just too good. When you give Lush that time to set up, they're able to control it just as we saw there. So fantastic read of the situation, read of the play. And in situations like that, where even if we did see the Lakers Legends come into this game with a full lineup, I would have to question their probabilities of winning this series. Now, they probably could have been able to take a game. They definitely probably would have been able to find a goal at some stage. But to take this series, Forest Lakes were always going to come into this one as the team expected to get the win. And we're seeing it here yet again. Lush proving once more that they are one of the better players in the event. And now with 3:30 to go, it's Alexa. It's going to be looking for Lush up the pitch. 1-2-1. Shot not done. McTrent Cool coming up big with that save. Now Sir Shaggy actually has a chance. Just needs to get it past the defense. And Lush, well, slowed it down, corralled it. Now looking to pass it back over to Alexa. No. Keeping it for themselves. Gets the dribble. Has space. Has one reset. Going for the reset. Busty, in fact. Okay, Lush. Definitely feeling comfortable right now, trying for the trick shots as Sir Shaggy had that one read, but unable to get the ball in time. Lush now looking to go the other way. What a goal out of Lush right there. Able to fake out the defense as for when the shot was going to come through. Very well done. McTrent Cool did their best. Fortunately for them, a bit too difficult this time around. Now that 2-goal cushion, that death blow cushion we were talking about before, it's probably into effect. Lakers Legends, if they're going to get back into this game, they need to score quickly, I'd have to feel like. Possession, though, already taken by the Lakers Legends in blue. With that possession, I do expect them to hold on to it. I like the Trent Cool stopping the waterfall. That may have saved a goal, but it hasn't got them back on their own attacking half as of yet. They still need to find a way to create some space. They still need to drive this one forward. And speaking of driving forward, well, Lush kind of more flew forward into this one, able to find that third goal for themselves and the team. Another hat trick for this player as they spiked that one in. Halfway through our third game and looking to be our final game right now. Lakers Legends still on that back foot. The 2v3 doing them absolutely no favors. And Forest Lake just complete control. Looking ahead right now, though, for Forest Lake Green, because I think at this stage we can start to look ahead a little bit. Forest Lake Green, guess what? They're rematching. It is that sort of mid-season moment where all the teams kind of do double headers with each other. So with this series going as strong as it is, and a shot by Alexa is actually saved by Lush, as you do, they're going to have to do another 3-0 once again against the same team, only swapping size. Doesn't change much in Rocket League. Forest Lakes are really setting the tone. They are establishing themselves as the team that's going to be the favorite for that second match as well. And hopefully for the Lakers Legends, they do find a third member before that second series does kick off, because maybe, just maybe, that'll be something to keep Forest Lakes a bit off balance in the future. As it stands, if they have to continue playing a 2v3, I just see more struggling in the future. I just don't really see this one being flipped back around. Lush again, looking for the bump, doesn't quite find it. And we do see a corner pass out, a bit of traffic in that box. Eventually McTrent Cool will be the one who takes it across that center of the pitch. Lush waits underneath, has to save Sir Shaggy a little bit too far forward, got stuck in no man's land. That leads to the defensive pass, that leads to the attacking pressure, and that leads to McTrent Cool having to come through with a very difficult save. They were playing that shadow defense, however, they're not going to save this one. Dishonored from the middle of the pitch, able to strike that one through. Now a 4-0 lead in favor of Forest Lakes. As we see this again from Sir Shaggy's POV, is forced to watch that one sail on through. This is a very strong showing again from Forest Lakes right now. Just like game number 1, and to a lesser extent game number 2, they have not let up. In fact, I'd say this is more game number 1 in terms of dominance. It should be 5-0. Had Lush not kind of trolled Alexa a little bit out of that play before. And now Alexa looks to get their own goal. This time it's the defense who makes a save, and that's going to be the goal that the Lakers legends wanted. Not getting completely shut out this series. They do find an opening. Cool taking advantage of the challenge out of Sir Shaggy. Really well done. Lakers legends, they get on the board. They can breathe a sigh of relief now. They weren't completely shut out, and it's something that I believe will be important for this team, especially considering it's the 2v3, although that kickoff is something they're going to want to forget. Alexa misses the open net. Oh, no, and then makes a squishy save on Dishonored. Okay. Oh, and Alexa's saying that wasn't even intentional. The sorry coming through. Oh, my goodness. I mean, that was a great save. Don't get me wrong. Lush isn't able to get that read. Alexa is, so that will be Alexa's first goal. 5-1 now, that scoreline. That squishy save, though. The squishy own team save. Oh, was not expecting that one. I don't think Lakers legends were either. At this stage, they're going to be looking to bring this one to an end. Yeah, Alexa's saying my bad in chat here as well. If that was genuinely a mistake, that's up there with some of the crazy own goals we've been seeing as of late. My goodness. Either way, this one is going to come to its conclusion. Forest Lake Green get themselves the 3-0 sweep. Lush, the MVP, not a big surprise right there. 2 hat tricks in that series. Absolutely dominating attacking performance. Whenever they had that ball, you never knew where that next strike was going to come from. So, big victory for that Forest Lake team. They get the 3-0 showing. And that means, you know, when you look at the overall standings, they're just going to be sitting in a much better position now. In fact, we're just going to bring that up. This will not have been updated, so we can update it ourselves, but especially with that win, Forest Lake, they're now 3-2. At minimum, a 1-game cushion over SDMC Black, who are currently playing Mars and Mako's Maroon, and you'd have to think that Mars and Mako's are going to win that. You'd have to think that Chisholm Maroon are going to beat TC Red, so it's really looking like that Conference A is just being split into sort of 2 definitive halves right now, with Forest Lake on that upper echelon. They're going to be feeling very comfortable with themselves at the end of this one. Now, as for us right here, we will be having a bit of a break. When we return, we're going to be heading to Conference B to see Chisholm Green taking on Marsden Mako's Black. It's going to be a Conference B matchup. It's going to be a lot of fun, so do not fret. We'll be right back after, a few minutes or so.
could say I'll quit without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body alive that hasn't seen the other side. So don't call me, I'll find something to escape my mind. What's the cost when there's no love lost between us? So burn the letters, there's a tragedy in every ember. In every ember. In every ember. In every ember. There's a tragedy in every You are my strangest addiction. I could say I'll quit without any conviction. Broke my own heart this time for believing that a ghost could find a body alive that hasn't seen the other side. So don't call me, I'll find something to escape my mind. There's a tragedy in every ember. What's the cost when there's no love lost between us? So burn the letters. There's a tragedy in every ember. In every ember. In every ember.
dawn's not that far away. Hop back on the saddle soon. You saw the soldier. The dark can consume your brain. All we ever wanted was a little air to breathe, but all we got are ashes of our old memories. Can you feel me?
dark life to some shine a light. Reveal how far it goes, so everybody knows.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for our second match here in Week 3 at the XPHSL Rocket League. I am still the same name, and I'm going to quiz you on what it is. I'm not saying it anymore. You have to figure out yourselves as we get ready to take a closer look at some of the matches we are about to run down. It's going to be Chisholm Green taking on the Marsden Makos Black in what could be potentially our second 2v3 in a row. Now, this one would come with a bit more significance considering where Chisholm Green sits at the moment, one of those teams that is also still vying to get through. Technically, they're undefeated. Technically, also, they're 2-2. They've had a couple forfeits, unfortunately, preventing them from maintaining that top spot that they're looking to achieve once more. However, the Marsden Makos Black, if it is, in fact, turning into V3, this is going to be their chance to really step up and show that perhaps they deserve that spot a bit more. I mean, it's a prime opportunity when your opponents are a little bit down, battered, and bruised, and missing one member. I don't really know why. It's probably a technical difficulty. However, we like to be dramatic and illiterate with how we phrase things. Taking one quick look again at the standings before coming into this one, you can sort of see Marsden Makos Black. Yes, they're sitting 1-3, but they have more points because those two losses were losses. They weren't forfeits, and that's why Chisholm Green, sitting at 2-0, is down there underneath them. It's going to be a fun matchup for sure. As we're going to go ahead and give the players the okay to jump on and start this game off. High expectations for both these teams coming into the season. Only one of them is going to find a victory with this next matchup, as it does look like players are jumping onto the pitch. So too shall we. Chisholm Green will be in blue. The Marsden Makos will be in orange, and we are underway. One last time for the Chisholm Green side. It is Gubby, it is Clumsy, and well, that's it. It's only the two of them taking on Abattoir's Rage, as well as Guilty Toe and Pac-Man 0522. And don't worry, we saw that goal. It was, in fact, the team of two striking first, as Clumsy makes the read out of the corner, puts it in. And it's already going to be a 1-0 lead, with Marshall returning at the last moment to get themselves onto the pitch. Very, very important, I believe, for this Chisholm side. Now that they are back at full strength, I do believe that this Chisholm team, more likely than not, are going to be favorites to win this one. I think having that 2v3 was the best chance for the Marsden Makos Black. However, Chisholm Green at full strength. This team hasn't lost a series yet. I know they're 2-2, or rather 2-0, but both of those forfeits have nothing to do with on-field play. So when they are playing with all three of their members, they haven't lost a series yet. Marsden Makos, they've been struggling a little bit so far this season. This is that chance that Chisholm Green is going to be looking for, as we saw Marshall kind of eyeing up a goal right there, unable to get it through. Pac-Man going to try to create some space, but Gumby's already there, playing it through the corner. Throwing that pace right on down, looking for the backflip back. Instead, it goes across the box, but it's not going to be a goal just yet. See Clumsy now putting up another one across that middle of the field. Guilty Toe will make that read from the backboard. Gumby with the chance again. He set something up. Clumsy has a look, but doesn't follow it through right away. That'll be Pac-Man pushing it to the other side. The pace of this game already so much faster than our first series we had this lovely Monday. We watched Gumby. I thought Gumby was going to go for the musty right there. Instead, just played it a bit safer. I think with the added power from the musty, that could have been a big play. Now it's going to be a big play the other way. No, it's an awkward touch. Not quite a goal. Look for a moment. Marsden Makos were about to get one through. Not this time. Abattoir's Rage going to have to sit back, bumped by Gumby, and it's a double commit as Pac-Man really wants to keep this one tight. This is where Chisholm Green should be looking to increase the pace. They tried to drive it straight down the center, but not fast enough. Defense able to recover. We're only 2 minutes into this series, and it's looking like it's a bit closer contested than what we had before, and perhaps than what we could have been expecting when we took a look at these two teams and their standings, especially with how fast Chisholm was able to find that opening goal. Now Gumby across the middle. Gonna run to a couple defenders. That's a big takeaway from Pac-Man, and that's gonna be a tying score, 1 apiece. I think everyone needs to get a little bit comfy in this one. We have ourselves a proper series now on our hands. Now, I'm gonna make a request out there to some of the lovely people behind the scenes right now. If we can get me the results somehow of how this first series went, I would love to know, because I was expecting things to be a little bit more one-sided perhaps than this. However, be the case that, after already playing a series against each other, which they had done earlier today, this could be an opportunity for Marsden to take and turn things around. Now, having a look at it before, it did go 4 games during the 4:20, 4:30 p.m. matchups, and it was Chisholm Green who got that done 3-1. They dropped the first game, but then won 3 in a row, and they were relatively close games. However, to start off the second series, Marsden Makos once again, just like earlier today, they're off to a strong Game 1 start right now, currently sitting 2-1. That goal coming from Abattoir's Rage. I think they desperately need this win, actually. If they were to come through after losing 3 in a row and then losing the opener in this series as well, that will put a team in a very, very tight and difficult mental state to bounce back from. And it's pretty great to see that we're actually seeing the Marsden Makos find their success as soon as Chisholm Green once again have 3 members on the pitch. That is a promising sign moving forwards. 2 minutes left in this one, though. Still time for Chisholm Green to come back in this game. We do see them currently hunting right now for that goal. Big bump from Kilty. Enough. It's a better bump actually across the middle of the pitch. The one on the ball that does create the space. Oh, swing and a miss from the midfield member. That's going to give Marshall an opportunity, perhaps. Slows the pace down, looking for the tee up, and it turns to an own goal. Oh, you don't want to see it happen like that, but there you have it. An equalizing shot coming from the orange side. Gumby was initially the one looking for it. Instead, I mean, realistically, we can call that a pinch off of Marshall. I think that's a bit more accurate with what we have in that situation. So it will be a tie ball game now. 2 apiece for the Makos. They desperately need this win. Clumsy, ooh, with a bit more power, could have really driven that one home. And look for the pass. We do see Marsden Makos able to turn it around. Actually, that angle, that was a dangerous one. Marshall gets credit for the save with that backboard touch. That's just how close that shot may have been. Gumby now does have a teammate directly underneath. Marshall opting not to stay with it, will instead back away as Abattoir's Rage will cross the field up. Something out of the corner. Marshall there, swing and a miss. Gumby now going to fall back for it. Does get demoed by Pac-Man. We see Clumsy. Well, we'll play around with the teammate. Both these teams, when they get on the attack, play so far forward, and they play so tight. The spacing from each side, it's snug, and that is why Marshall takes advantage of the snugness, the smugness. Just keeping it really, really close and right in the Marsden Makos personal space. I'm going to go ahead and turn that to a 3-2 lead as an end result, playing it through the box right now. Less than a minute to go. Marsden desperate for a goal in response. They can ill afford to let another win slip by. Yet it will be Gumby looking to drive it across that middle of the field. Marshall waits on that backside as well. Oh, that could have been a pass. In fact, it is a pass to Gumby, who throws it back to Marshall, squeaking it through. 2-goal cushion, 24 seconds left. I believe that's going to do it for our first game in this series. It's going to go Chisholm Green's way. 4 wins in a row now this afternoon against the Marsden Makos. First in this series. Great start for them. Just continuing this sort of late season push right now to secure their playoff spot. Because again, they'll be finishing this one with a 4-2 record if they are able to take the series. And considering with those 2 forfeits that they unfortunately had before, it does put them in that awkward position where those technically count as 0-3 losses, where you don't even get a point for the participation that you do for a normal loss, which means they need to win and win in dominating fashion every chance they get, not just to necessarily qualify, but then you look at the seeding as well to avoid some of those other big powerhouse teams. That start was a bit of a statement that I do believe they would have been looking for. So, good opening in this second series for the team that's already 3-1 up in the first series. They would love to 3-0 this one as well. That would get them a nice net 5-game lead, which would be fantastic for them as a whole. We'll go ahead and get back into the pitch right now. Our second game about to go underway. Again, Chisholm Green looking to keep that same momentum moving forwards right now, although this opening kickoff may have gone back against them a little bit. Not quite as clean the start as they were looking for. What is that? Oh, no. Confusion in the box for the Marsden Makos, and Chisholm are going to go ahead and capitalize on it. Got to kind of bounce back from that. You got to keep your head on that swivel and get right back into this matchup. Those types of mistakes can sometimes be devastating, and now it's getting worse. A second kickoff goal in a row has Chisholm already up 2-0 in this one. Marshall with that perfect read, heading the dunk. Oh my goodness. The Makos, the second game hasn't even started yet, really, and they're already down 2-0. It's going to be a tough fight back for them, I believe. However, that aggressive style, it could create opportunities. We see them get 2 goals on the last game. Going to have to find a way to do it again without giving up any more. That's the triple commit. Already they're panicking, and already it's a 3-0 lead. Chisholm Green running away with game number 2 right now, 3-0, and we are not even 30 seconds in. This is putting Marsden Makos deep on the back foot, deep in their own hole that they've kind of dug for themselves with those kickoffs. Still time in this second game, and I would argue the second game is a bit of a must-win. Again, Chisholm right now looking to win 5 games in a row against the Marsden Makos, and they have made a great start forward, although that was a bit clumsy out of clumsy right there. Gets in the way of the clear. Albatross Rage looking for that pass down to a teammate, and that shot from Guilty Toe will go through. 4 goals in our first minute of play. 3 by Chisholm Green, 1 by the Marsden Makos. And they're back within striking distance. A little bit surprised Gumby actually didn't get a wheel on that one. Had the right read on it, just unfortunately Guilty Toe's touch a bit better. Bit better. 3-1 lead in favor of Chisholm Green after giving up that last goal. They're still looking to keep that momentum moving forwards. Another shot nearly does go into the net. In fact, that one will go in. Give Gumby credit. 5 goals in our first minute now. 4-1 lead for Chisholm Green, as Guilty Toe just unable to find the clear that they were looking for. Clumsy was in the net as well. Had that clear been successful because of the challenge, it would have been a 3v1 on the Marsden Mako attack. More often than not, that's a goal. So Marsden Makos may have just missed out on a small opportunity for themselves. See what they're able to get right here. Ball off that backboard. Pac-Man. Keep it nice and snug for the time being, or Marshall will collect. Again, you can see that challenge, and now we're seeing Chisholm Green. Yep, again, keeping things tight. That spacing always super close. Sometimes a little too close. That was arguably a double commit right there. Not what we want to see from Chisholm Green. We still want to see solid rotational play, even if it is snug, as we do see Marsden Makos being the team a bit more spread out. Now actually using that to their advantage, although as soon as they get on the attack, that's where they start to kind of clump up and get close to each other. And that's what's allowing Chisholm Green to get one good touch and to open up the entirety of the midfield. Now, they didn't use the midfield that time. They could have slowed it down after that first touch. They could have been able to really look to punish the lone defender. Instead, it'll be Pac-Man doing some punishing of their own, finding the goal to take them back within 2. It was just a good pass to themselves right around clumsy. That second touch off the double commit, something we've been a little critical now of Chisholm Green. Goes ahead. Makes this a 2-point game once more. Still 3:06 on the clock. Still a 2-goal differential, so it's not as if Chisholm Green should be panicking just yet. However, they're still very much in this fight. They're very much in the running. See what they can find. You see a shot towards that backboard. Not quite a goal just yet. Instead, we're going to go ahead and see they're set up across that field. Interesting to see Marsden Mako slowing the pace down, actually. A bit surprised by that. I thought they would be wanting to stay to be that faster team, being that more of an aggressive team. Maybe they'll be able to pop back into it. Instead, we see Pac-Man going all the way to that opposite end. Abattoir's Rage gets a good bump, but it's set down in the middle of the field. Ooh, it was close. It was very, very close, but not quite in just yet, as we see Pac-Man having to fall back for the time being. Abattoir's Rage unable to make the touch against Marshall. Then we see a good setup, a strong shot, not quite there. Setup was nice. However, it did send all three members forward. Gumby's touch, oh no! It was nearly the own goal, but it is the pass that winds up in the hands of Pac-Man. And all of a sudden, the Marston Makers, despite giving up 4 goals in the first minute of the second game, they've been able to bring it back within 1 after that awkward touch. This is what they were hoping for. Marston Makos now in with a very legitimate shot. Let's see what they can do. Kickoff will be stopped by Clumsy. Gumby as well, a bit of a swing and a miss. Clumsy now is going to be forced to fall back. Quite make that initial read they were looking for. Double commit by the Makos attack, though. That means they, well, aren't able to stay with those offensive rotations. They're forced to play some defense now. All 3 defenders in the box, and still Clumsy with an opening, with the shot, and with the goal. Popping it up to themselves. They're able to regain that 2-goal cushion. Watching it again right here. I love the defenders bumping into each other in the background. That's always a spooky sign, but overall, it's all Chisholm Green right now. 5-3 in their favor. Out in front, looking good at it. Here we go. 5-3, kickoff. Wind up going the other way. Eventually, it will be Gumby. Wrestling control, going for that dribble. Looking to drop it down to Marshall, who cannot get the goal, but has a bit of help from the Marston Makers. And now we have a 9-goal game. This is another own goal. And this one, I think, was a little more egregious than the one we saw previously. Kilty Toe trying to get it into either the post or the corner. I think it was meant for the corner. Wound up hitting the post, goes in. 3-goal differential. Minute 20 remaining. Chisholm Green, more likely than not, going to hang on to this one. I always say Rocket League is a game of momentum. I think it has never been more evident than in this game. We go from, 3-0 to 4-1 to 3-4 to 6-3, all within one game. It's just been back and forth, flurries of goals for each team, and now make it 7-3 as Gumby has that read. They look so in control for this one. Fantastic. Fantastic shot right there. Let's take a look at Gumby hiking it down and in. Good little start for Chisholm Green right now. Marching towards a clean sweep. Very likely they're going to be able to hold on to this one and walk away with a 2-0 lead, forcing the Makos into that, well, we need to win 3 in a row against a team that's taken 5 on us. It doesn't look very likely for them. It's going to be a difficult climb back. I do like the bumps, though. I do like how they're still trying to play forward thinking. However, when it comes to at least game number 2, probably not going to wind up in their favor. 30 seconds to go. I don't know if this is going to be the final scoreline, but it is going to be Chisholm Green with a victory. And again, when you take a look at the conference standings, where this puts this team as a whole, they are right back in the thick of it for looking to take that division, or at the very least secure themselves a playoff spot. Marston Makos Black, they're in a dire situation. They really needed at least one victory here today. Unfortunately, up against Chisholm Green, who might be the toughest opponent in Conference B. They're going to be looking a little bit short at this stage. Chisholm Green goes ahead, takes game number 2 as we get ready to go into our third, although Gumby has left the match. So, sure if we're seeing a car swap. What happening right there? Hopefully, they'll be able to get back into this one quite soon. We do go ahead and just get ready for our next game. Here we go. I mean, look, I hope it's not turning into a 2v3. I hope Gumby is where they still need to play one more game. Because they're not done. That was only 2. There was one more. Kind of waiting to see what is the go there. Sorry, apologies. I just have to go back in. Yeah, Gumby has joined back in. Okay, Gumby has joined back in, so we're going to be quickly going into our next matchup now. Look, sometimes it gets confusing, all right? You lose track of games, and you lose track of time, and you lose track of where you're realistically supposed to be, as we are going to jump right back onto the pitch now for what will be our third game. I think the players should be coming on. Yep, there they go. Actually, true story, it happened, in fact, RLCS last night with the Renegades. When the Renegades scored their series-winning goal in overtime, game number 6 of the second best of 7 they had to play, CJ was the only one who actually knew the series was over. Apparently, both Kami and Fever, they didn't know it was done and dusted yet. Either way, Gumby is going to go ahead and get the first goal for our next game. Just like game number 2, it's Chisholm Green off to a fast start. Triple committing on that shot. Still, the first member there was the one who got it through. 1-0 lead already for the team in blue. Did not take long whatsoever for that opening shot. And now they're looking for even more. Kickoff pressure looks really good. Another double commit up into the corner. And that's going to be, it should have been another goal, but this time Clumsy unable to make that read. A bit awkward still, though. You can just see Chisholm members throwing themselves at the ball, swing and a miss from Abattoir's Rage. Might set Clumsy up off that backward shot coming from underneath. Not quite there. Pac-Man, though, unable to get it past Marshall to turn it into a proper goal as of yet. Pac-Man now has Kilty Toe waiting, but Abattoir's Rage will be the one who jumps up for it. That will cross up some of the defense, but only momentarily. Eventually, Gumby does get it back to the other side of the field. Now, something I have noticed in this series, the longer the point lasts, the more I feel like Mars and Makos get their chances to score goals. Case in point, Pac-Man puts this one in, and it was another sort of series of play that was roughly a minute long. And I feel like if it's a quick goal, more often than not, it's going in favor of Chisholm, but when it's a longer, more drawn-out goal, that's where the Mars and Makos actually find their strengths. They like these longer plays. They like the longer-paced game, and they just have to stop that fast, punchy attack out of the Chisholm Green side. Marshall has an opening. I expect this shot to go through. Not quite. Abattoir's Rage makes the first save. Can't make the second. Clumsy 18. Credit for the goal. Unfortunately, Abattoir's Rage, they were put in a tough spot because that shot could have been going anywhere, and they did a good job making that first initial defensive touch. However, the power to get that ball into the corner was just not quite there. And while it was a good start to the save, the lack of support and the lack of the ability to follow that one through did just cost Marcin Makos another goal. So valiant effort. Unfortunately, Chisholm still in the lead for this one. Or fortunately, I suppose, if you're a Chisholm fan right now and hoping for that clean sweep, well, then things are going really good for you at this stage. Pac-Man going to go ahead and cross the field up, forcing some awkward defensive touches. Marshall, woo! Shoots that one a bit underneath, able to recover, but loses a lot of boost in the process now with that pinch, with that space. Looking to go up the other way. Clumsy, double commit with Gumby. And normally you would see a fast response, although it doesn't look like Marcin Makos are really willing to play that punchy counterattack game. Gumby, nice redirect out of the skies. That's a 3-1 lead. Chisholm Green pulling further and further ahead right now. They are looking in control. These 2-goal cushions have just been consistently devastating, I feel like. Not just in this one, but like in series as a whole. I feel like with this theory, they should be able to hold on till the end of this matchup, especially with another kickoff shot like that. That time, Abattoir's Rage able to fall back for it. Gumby, though, still will be the one corralling that ball. Off the side wall, Pac-Man has a look, doesn't have the read. That will be Marshall instead, looking to chase it forward. Out of the corner we go, has not one but 2 targets. They can look to dish it down to. Will be Pac-Man stealing it away for now. Kilty Toe. Get a bit of space. Gonna have to stalk that one from underneath. Let's see what Pac-Man can do. One touch. Not too much of the fall through just yet. Eventually it is a pass back. Shot, goal! 2 defenders went high. The shot went low. And Kilty Toe takes Marcin Makos back within striking distance as we watch this one again. Awkward read from not one but 2 defenders. That was Gumby and Clumsy. Neither of which could have made that touch. Or, well, they could have if they stayed low. Clumsy, I think, had a better chance at it. Kickoff also looks good for Marcin Makos. They almost can find that opening right there. Eventually, Marshall will get to it. Big demo, though. Might open the doorway for Abattoir's Rage. That's one touchless for the second off that backward. Unable to find it this time around. But they do see Gumby stay with things. Ball held up in the air from underneath. It's a shot. It's on target. Is it in? Not quite. Guilty, unable to get there this time as Gumby again looking to pelter that backboard shot post, not through. Gumby, though, holds it in the box. A goal here could end this series, but they're unable to find it just yet. Chisholm Green hunting for that go-ahead. Well, I should say that game-securing goal. They are ahead, but a 2-goal cushion would be so nice. Clumsy not ready for the pass out of Marshall. Doesn't mean possession's given over, but Pac-Man, a couple unforced errors. Eventually, Marshall does play it forward, able to keep that pressure right where it needs to be. Gumby out of the corner looking to connect to Clumsy. That shot was good off the backboard. No one else is there. 3-2 lead in favor of Chisholm Green. As they look for that second touch, Marshall unable to find it. Gumby keeps it popped up from behind. It is going to be Clumsy. Intercepted by Pac-Man. We go, Gumby. 1 minute remaining. Finds the second touch in the middle of the pitch. As Avatar's Rage will clear defenders out of the way. Gumby has a spying look. Gets near the ball, but not entirely on it. That's a good touch. That's a better touch. Gumby with the 1-2 punch for the 2-goal cushion. That may have just secured this series for Chisholm Green. Watch this again. 1 fake, 2 fake, blue fake, 4-2 fake. My goodness, that is a great little play from Chisholm Green right there. That's probably going to give them this series, as with under a minute to go, yet another 2-goal cushion. It's going to be Chisholm Green getting themselves a much-needed victory here today off that backboard. They nearly get a third. Clumsy shot, though, will wind up posting it. Defenders wind up bumping into each other. And Chisholm Green does want one more goal at minimum. Not going to find it just yet. What they are going to find, though, is one last chance to show off their defensive skills. Marcin Makos could bring us back within one. The attacker was there, but the contact not quite made. Chisholm Green, dominating performance on stream yet again. That makes them 4-0-0-2, maybe is the best way to put it. 4 wins. Well, that's another goal for Gumby. But 4 wins, 2 forfeit losses. They're a strong team. This is a team that should be considered a legitimate threat right now. They continue to find successes, and they continue to dominate on the pitch. So, really well played from Chisholm Green right now for the Marcin Makos. Unfortunately for them, not quite able to pull this one off. And I can't think of anything too inherently wrong that I saw from them. It just turned into a game of speed. And I suppose willingness to commit to plays. If anything, perhaps sometimes the Marcin Makos hesitated when they could have looked to play it forward. However, it's difficult when you're constantly being outpaced to the ball to have the confidence to go for those kinds of plays. And remembering, too, that they did just wind up losing, 6 games in a row. That plays to the mental. So I'm not too surprised to see them fall a little bit short at the end of the day. However, they fought hard. They really did try to put that one together as we take one last look at the match results for this one right here. 3-0 in favor of Chisholm Green. Strong showing throughout. And when you take a look at the picture for the day as a whole, you can see it was pretty straightforward here on the stream. 2 3-0s. Didn't really get to have a proper series on our hands. Granted, with the came to the Forest Lake Lions as well as the Lakers Legends, it was a 2v3. Chisholm Green, Marcin Makos was the proper 3v3. However, that's the way how it falls. Not every day is going to have your exciting 5-game banger series. Sometimes it just be how it be, with one team outpacing, outshowing, and, well, more dominating their opponents. As for us today, that is time for us to be saying good night, or, well, good evening, good afternoon. It's not even 6 o'clock yet. It's still not even dinner time. So I do hope all of you out there do find ways to enjoy the rest of your Monday. As for us at XP, we won last time. Would like to thank, everyone involved at EPOS for, again, providing a wonderful prize pool, as well as Intel, as well as DQ Racing, Computer Alliance, and TGG, the Gamers Ground. It's where we do all of our recordings. It's a pretty sweet place. If you live in that Brisbane area, do remember to come by, check it out. Check out some of the sweet merch as well. It's very comfy. This shirt, amazingly comfy. Super light, summer, laughing. Perfect. So, I do, once again, would like to thank everybody here. Thank everyone for tuning in, and to all the schools participating. Catch you next week out there. Have a great day.
You had a good chance, but didn't say much.
Welcome back, John. Same room?
You look even worse than the last time.
Hard finding the time to do anything for myself. With my job and kids, you know.
I sure do. We hear that a lot. Now, just relax.